Welcome, wrestling fans, to the PW Fan. The PW Fan is a pro wrestling podcast created by fans for fans, and we appreciate you joining us for episode 21, fresh off the Royal Rumble. I am your host, representing the old school wrestling fan, and your favorite local barber, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast, Andy.
I am also your host, the no-selling wrestling indie fan, Jeremy.
All right, guys. Today we are going to be covering AEW Beach Break, the Royal Rumble, and more. But before we get started, let's just get the social media stuff out of the way, huh? Let's go over to our YouTube channel where you can find full episodes where we've been posting, and we've been posting video also. So don't forget to please like and subscribe. That really helps us out. T-shirts, prowrestlingtees.com/the PW Fan. And guys, we all watched the Royal Rumble last night together. That was pretty fun. That was a cool kind of throwback.
Yeah, that was the first time we did something like that.
I said to you guys, if we weren't watching this together, this probably wouldn't be that great. But we will get into it.
Yeah, you said you would be in bed.
Yeah, I probably would have.
You would have fallen asleep, Tim.
I stayed but I stayed up for the whole thing. But yeah, that was fun. I just wanted to bring that up at the top of the show because I thought that was cool. Maybe we can do that more, and then maybe we can even film some content at some point and put some stuff together of us watching the shows for people. Because yeah, that was a really good time last night. Andy, I'm going to let you start off today, like usual, and whatever you want to get. Kind of start off with, you take us where you want to go, man.
All right. Before we get into the actual shows, one thing I wanted to mention is I was watching NXT 2.0 this week, and it ended with Braun Breaker outside in the parking lot with Legado del Fantasma, and up walks Tommaso Ciampa. So... You know, he had made the whole post on Instagram make it seem like he was like leaving NXT, and he's been having dark matches with Pete Dunne on, I think after Smackdown and whatnot. But now he's, I don't know, they're bringing him back to NXT, and they kept his beard dyed, and because Vince or someone made him do that.
Can't have any gray hair anymore.
Nope, can't have gray hair.
Can't age.
So I don't know. I don't like that Ciampa. You know, they basically were like, I don't think you have anything left to do with NXT, and then start doing stuff with him after SmackDown, and then they're like, no, you're going to go back. It's like, I thought it was a nice send-off of him dropping the title to Braun Breaker and then go off and do his own thing, but maybe that's just me. If you guys have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's kind of not a surprise anymore when they do this, because they've done it so often with people, they have no idea what they're going to do, and then who knows, maybe next week he's released. And then you don't see him for 90 days. So.
And that's the thing. Like, I just don't know. I just don't understand anymore. And it's almost a joke. Like, we keep covering stuff like this, but it's like, it's not a surprise. It's not even news anymore. I mean, like last week when we said all the stuff about Gunther and Walter, it's like, why am I not surprised that any of this is even happening? So, yeah, whatever. They just at this point do what they do, and it's different now. I guess that's the thing, right? Like, we just accept the fact that it's different and just stop complaining about it. Is that all you do now? Is that
apparently?
I guess. You know.
Yeah, well, they know how to question our intelligence, or make us question our intelligence, I should say.
Here's the thing.
They either just think everyone's stupid or what. I don't know.
You would think, and if you're listening, you would think, well, then why don't you just not watch it? I think there's a nostalgia there. It brings you back to your childhood. It's like being loyal to a football team, even when they suck, you know, or baseball or hockey or whatever you're into, soccer. It's when your team isn't doing well, you still support them. And almost WWE sometimes feels like that, like that they're in a quote.
But they have their moments where it's like, oh, this is good again.
And the thing that's what's different than a regular sport is they're financially fine. They're doing excellent. They're doing probably better than they've ever done. So it's like, why would they change anything?
I wonder why.
It's for the people that actually care, like us, you know. And I'm sounding like a total mark right now, but for the people that actually like remember it being a certain way and then are invested in it now are the ones who are disappointed. But it's all money, so it is what it is. It's just, for being a fan for over 20 years, you're like, you know, you get these guys that are talented, and then you bring them up and you basically embarrass them.
Yeah, well, I think Tim, you said that once before when they kept releasing people, and I think it was Vince or someone sold some of their stocks, and Nick Khan was president, and it's a totally different company than what we even grew up with. So it's like, you can't even compare those two now.
And that's the thing. I've noticed the trend, and here's the thing. I try to be like a self-aware person. I've noticed my feedback towards WWE over the last few episodes has been increasingly negative. So I'm going to try to let up a little bit and relax, because that's not the point of the show. This isn't like the tear apart WWE show. It is what it is. They're a different business now. I know I'm the old school wrestling fan and all that, but I also don't want to be the guy who just complains the whole time. I don't think that's entertaining for anybody, you know, so, or fun, so, or positive. So we'll just kind of accept
This might be a hard episode not to do that.
Yes, but it just is what.
Good luck with that mindset once we get into the Rumble today. So,
oh, man, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat those words, aren't I?
Yeah. So let's get into the actual shows of the week. When it came to Raw and also Smackdown this week, they were kind of go-home shows for the Rumble, but a couple things to talk about. Starting with Raw, it opened up with a Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley weigh-in segment, which should have been terrible, but, you know, a lot of people actually don't like this goofy, funny Brock. I'm a fan, but, you know, to each their own. So Brock comes out, he's wearing...
No, I just was interested, like, where is the feedback that you were seeing that people don't like it? Was it Twitter or, like...
Yeah, just different social media platforms, people on YouTube.
Yeah. It's weird. I've seen similar. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't nail it down to one particular place, but I see different stuff, different places. But yeah, so Brock comes out wearing a cowboy hat, and he has his man bun braided. He walks up to the scale, and Corey Graves is the one kind of guiding this whole thing along in the ring. Corey Graves says something like that Brock's not wearing appropriate attire for a weigh-in. And Brock goes, "Mr. Graves, would you like me to get naked for you?" And so that was kind of Brock's little one-liner for it. And all he did to get on the scale, he took a piece of clothing off, but it was just his cowboy hat. So he weighs himself. Lashley also weighs himself. Later on in the segment, Bobby says he's going to beat Brock at the Rumble, and that's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. And then Brock ends it with, "Well, who's the comedian now?" Since I think the week before they did the knock-knock joke and the Bobby Who thing. But yeah, that segment, you know, just wanted to talk about just because we have a big match coming up with this Royal Rumble pay-per-view with Brock and him, and I've been liking the stuff personally that Brock's been doing. So I don't know if you guys saw any clips for this weigh-in segment or what have you, but yeah, what you guys think or heard about it?
I liked it. I mean, I do like the Brock like this, like where he's kind of joking, but it seems like he can also be serious in the next second. So I think it kind of works. And I guess I'll save for what whenever we go over the match, I'll save that stuff because I feel like the hype was better than the match.
That's true.
I've always thought that Brock was talented with or without Paul Heyman. I mean, I was a little surprised when he came back that they kind of immediately went back to that and he didn't talk because he was hilarious in the UFC. How does, you know, we got to remember one of the best interviews of all time is I'm going to drink a Coors Light because Bud Light won't pay me nothing. I'm like, come on, this guy, might
even get on top of my
that's been there the whole time. And then before that, when he was doing the I remember he was doing this feud with Goldberg in like 2003 or 4, right before they both left, where he's like, because of you, Bill, I can't sleep at night. And he was like crying. And I was like, dude, I knew that there was like an entertaining.
He was begging Vince McMahon to give him Goldberg.
Yeah, please. He's like, give me Goldberg. Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of knew that he had this in him. It's cool to see, though. And I like that he is a babyface. Kind of a mixed reaction with the Rumble. We'll get into it. It's just so predictable. But I don't want to talk about it right now. Well, let's just keep going and we'll get into that.
There's that positivity.
I know. God damn it.
So one other thing from Raw, and I mentioned this to you guys last night, it's just a little funny thing. So RK Bro versus the Alpha Academy in an academic challenge. Picture basically like the end of Billy Madison when he's doing that academic decathlon thing. But it should have been really terrible. I mean, it wasn't great, but there was a few funny moments. So this is apparently the first of 3 challenges. So I guess this coming Raw and the next week we'll also have 2 more. But this challenge was a spelling bee. And at one point it got to Matt Riddle and his word was calibration. And he asks, what's the definition? Can you use it in a sentence? And the host does it, and then he's like, oh, like when I calibrate my scale when I'm weighing stuff like ounces, grams. And then like they cut him off. You can see Randy's laughing. And then when he spells it, he screams out, I am the smartest man alive, which I think is a throwback to the Billy Madison movie when he does something similar to that. But I also mentioned to you guys that Otis had spelt a word actually incorrectly, but they said that it was correct. This was just like a botch on his part. I don't remember what the word was, but yeah, I just thought the part with Matt Riddle, whether you saw the segment or not, I thought that part with Matt Riddle was kind of funny, and I feel like the laughter from Randy was kind of genuine too. So.
Yeah, that part made me laugh. I think that was about it though from the segment.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Now, so that's basically for Raw. There wasn't again like these WWE shows this week were pretty much go home shows for the Rumble this Saturday. But this week's Dynamite was Beach Break, and I don't know if we're going to cover every single thing that went on, but there was a lot that went down during this. I don't know. These things I always call like TV pay-per-views in a way. You know, that's kind of how they like seem to book it. But the opening match,
Beach Break in winter makes sense, right? And Cleveland,
completely. But let's get right into it because this opening match, guys, was awesome. It was Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara in a ladder match to unify the TNT Championship. Cody Rhodes was the champion, and Sammy Guevara was the interim champion. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about that awesome cutter from the top of the ladder.
That was one of the sickest things I've ever seen in wrestling. One of the sickest things I've ever seen in wrestling.
He popped up to the top of that ladder, jumped, and just was like gravity do its thing. Yeah, it was amazing.
They released some footage from a different camera they had on the side. It was like one of those slow-mo cameras. And it's like, it was crazy to see. And also the fan footage. I'm like, my God, like you see that unedited, it's insane.
Yeah, to me, that moment
so crazy.
Like is going to be iconic. Just like when Jeff Hardy did the swanton off the ladder through the table the first time, or like something like that. Like that cutter, and that was so sick.
So people I read online, don't know where exactly, but people are like, that's basically like, as of now, AEW's like edge spear.
That's what I'm saying.
Off the ladder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. That's literally exactly. Great example.
Yeah, it'll be a clip played for years.
Yeah. And it's like such a clean move too. Like, it's usually those high risk ones kind of get like, it's not perfect, but it's pretty cool to see. But this one was like everything was perfect about it.
Yeah, it was amazing. I watched it over and over again. Like, oh my, it was so crazy.
He literally floated.
Yeah, and Cody took it great too. Props
to Cody.
So a little bit later in the match, Fuego comes out, and because he's friends with both of them, and just gets taken out pretty much. I think.
Was he supposed to be cheered or booed?
I don't know. I think he was, because apparently they were saying he's friends with both guys, so getting in the middle of it.
Sammy wasn't in like that bad of a spot where he needed help to come out. Like he was just getting beat up.
No.
It was weird.
He didn't need Fuego's help.
Yeah.
So then, speaking of the Jeff Hardy stuff, Sammy does do like a Jeff Hardy spot of, I mean, it's not a real swanton off. It's more of high up on a ladder. You just kind of roll off onto Cody, who's on another ladder, I believe, but the ladder doesn't break or give. Sammy just flips off of it.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
Bounces right off.
That was rough.
Yeah, in the end, the winner was Sammy Guevara, and I thought this match was awesome. It was another great opener to these shows.
That was...
Yeah, at first of this match, I wasn't really sure about it, because like it didn't have the hype, because I was like, there's no real build to it, I guess, and it didn't really make sense to have interim and all this kind of confusing stuff. But yeah, by the end of it, that was like, I was glad to see Sammy win.
Yeah, because I remember when they first took it off him, we all were like, it's too soon to take it off of Sammy. Like, he really didn't get a... So maybe they were just leading to this, or I don't know. But they kind of had to work around the whole Cody COVID situation, and I think they made the best that they could with it. So
yeah,
good on them. So going on in the show, not necessarily the next thing, but there was a match with Jericho and Proud and Powerful versus 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. And I believe the entire time they're not tagging in Jericho, they're pretty much ignoring him. So eventually Jericho just leaves the match. He's like, this is what you want to do, and just walks away. The winners in the end, though, were still Jericho and Proud and Powerful, but I don't know. Do you guys think this is the beginnings of the breaking up of the Inner Circle?
Well, I'm glad at least it's the beginning for Proud and Powerful to move on, because they should be, tag team champs or somewhere around that area.
They're really good, and I'm surprised they haven't, gotten that yet.
And also, wasn't the ending where Jericho ended up using the Judas effect and then rolling the guy back in, or is it something else?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
Yeah, I forget. I thought it was some reason that Jericho won.
I thought he stayed at the top of the ramp the whole time.
Yeah.
At the end, so. So after that, we had Hangman Adam Page and Lance Archer video package. And what a surprise, their match is going to be a Texas death match. Now,
I'm not excited about this.
My issue with this video package is, in it, they're talking to Adam Page, and they tell him that's a Texas death match. And he's a babyface, but he's also the champion. And when they tell him this, he seems to get somewhat scared or nervous. And he's your champion. I don't think you should book your champion to get scared or nervous like that, but maybe that's just me. What do you guys think?
I don't think so. Also, because he just beat Bryan Danielson. Like, he shouldn't be scared.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he heard about it. And he's like, what? Like, dude, you're the champion. Like, be strong, champion. Don't, be different than if he was a heel and he was like nervous, but it's like, you're a babyface.
Yeah. He should have been like hyped about it or something.
Yeah. So, I don't think they've announced when that's taking place. Did they announce when that's taking place?
Yeah, I think it's in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it's pretty obvious the Hangman's he's gonna win.
Yeah. Well, let's just get this feud over with as quick as possible, please.
Yeah.
So after that, we had Jurassic Express, Christian Cage, and Matt Hardy and Private Party backstage, talking about how Private Party is the number one contenders. The only reason why I want to bring up this segment is because we were joking about it last week, but Matt Hardy says, no one cares about the ass boys. And then you look in the audience, dude, there's like ass boys signs, like, and I think Jericho this week on Rampage was saying ass boys and all that stuff.
I think those dudes those dudes need to thank Danhausen.
Yeah. It's like 10 times more popular because of Danhausen.
Doesn't even matter if it's fun. If it's
yeah.
I mean, think about it. It doesn't even matter.
The Gun Club, which is their actual name.
It doesn't matter if it's quote unquote like negative or whatever. Like it's hilarious. More people know about him now.
Yeah, they've been coming. One of them's been coming at him like saying it's a joke and stuff. But we'll get to that when it comes to Danhausen. We'll get to it later in the show. What happened? But yeah, I figured you guys want to talk about the CM Punk segment. You know, he comes out in the ring. He's wearing the Long Boys and
he's got the Long Boys
MJF's
on
scarf. So what he says, he's like, I'm even wearing my Long Boys. He's got MJF's scarf that he took from him last week. You know, he's out there. He's looking to fight MJF. Talks about the scarf, how he thought it was, you know, some expensive scarf, but you can buy a pack of 10 for like $5 on Amazon. MJF comes out. He talks shit about Cleveland and like their teams, I believe. Says he won't wrestle CM Punk, but then, you know, then he decides he won't wrestle CM Punk, I guess, that night because CM Punk was ready, but he said he will wrestle him next week in Chicago. So unless MJF is going to pull everyone's leg, it looks like we're finally getting that match. Now, if one of them loses, I mean, either one that loses, this is actually going to be their first loss in AEW. Like a clean
MJF
loss.
lost that. Yeah, clean loss. Yeah.
Clean loss.
I would say. Yeah.
And so MJF says that he's going to beat CM Punk and then Punk will leave wrestling again. And he says that the chance won't stop CM Punk from turning his back on them again and crying about it on a podcast. And then Punk's like, a podcast you listen to because you're a fan. It kind of goes, you know, into that whole thing, basically how, you know, MJF follows his career and whatnot. Wardlow and FTR come out. Sean Spears attacks CM Punk from behind. Tim loved it.
amazing.
All the Pinnacle attacks and Wardlow powerbombs Punk onto a chair. And afterwards, MJF sits on CM Punk's chest, cross-legged, kind of like how CM Punk was during the pipe bomb promo. I'm guessing that's what it was like paying homage to, but
yeah, well, that's how Punk used to do all of his promos after that.
So that then became a thing. Became a thing for him. Gotcha. So yeah, what you guys think of that promo? Are you guys excited for their match that's finally gonna?
I mean, I'm excited, but I kind of feel like, is it going to happen though? Because I feel like they're saving it for the pay-per-view, which is, I think it's like March 5th or something. It's a Sunday, and that's
a long time.
Yeah, still another month.
This has been going on for like over a month. Like,
yeah, I think it's a couple of months at least now.
Jesus.
Okay. But I mean, that's been a good feud. Like, I'm not tired of it either, because them going back and forth on the mic is so really good. But
it's not like they're having like 5 matches. All right.
Yeah.
They can go back and forth on the mic for weeks. That's fine. Once you start doing like match after match after match, like,
yeah,
it just
gets I think the way
ridiculous.
That Punk's handled it too, with going through Wardlow and Sean Spears the way he did, was helped the feud too.
Yeah. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see it sooner than that, but like you said, you can just keep doing promos for a while and draw this thing out. But my thing is who do you have win? Because if MJF loses, I feel like that just really like kind of cuts into his steam a little bit.
This is what I'm thinking. You have him lose, but it's caused by Wardlow. Leading to Wardlow versus MJF.
That is a good out.
It just came to me. I was like, that way you still protect MJF, protect Punk, and the tension that's been building with Wardlow.
Booker Andy
just finally comes
there
to.
You go.
Yes. Well, I could book it better than someone that booked this men's Rumble. But, we'll talk about who that was later. Just found out. But yeah, no, I think that would make sense. I think that would make fans happy, though, if they were to book it like that.
Yeah, if they do that with Wardlow, that means that the Punk and MJF stuff's going to be done then, which I don't know if they want to do yet. So I feel like they're going to push it until the pay-per-view.
They can always come back to it later.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's
if
true.
you draw it out to this pay-per-view, you pretty much give the fans their fill and have a bunch of stuff happen on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Like, as like interferences and backstage fights and like make it crazy. So that way we all get our like money's worth. And then maybe at the end, Wardlow costs him the win. And then
it makes sense. It makes too much sense.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it does make too much sense.
Well, this is AEW, so making sense could actually work.
Yeah, you're right.
Compared to the next show.
So lastly in the show, though, I wanted to talk about, in the show as in Beach Break, I want to talk about the main event. Just skip ahead to there. It was Orange Cassidy versus Adam Cole in a lights out match. Gonna be honest, it was a lot better than I thought it was, or would be, I guess. But let's talk about the big part that happened in the match right away. About halfway through the match or so, maybe 3/4, Adam Cole goes to get a chair from underneath the ring, and as he's pulling it out, someone's holding on to it. We got good old Danhausen. So Danhausen debuts in AEW. He's very nice, very evil. How do we all feel about Danhausen? I think we all like him. I know Tim's a fan.
That's the reason why Adam Cole lost, because he cursed him. So he was done for that.
Cursed. Even I like Danhausen.
So, how do you guys feel about him? How do you guys feel about him, being in... So, you don't like Orange Cassidy, who's like a comedic gimmick, but you like Danhausen.
I can't help it. He is because you know why? Because he's actually funny. Like, he's very quick.
Yeah.
He's like super quick, and he'll say something that you'll just be like, "Oh my god, how did you think to say that?" And he'll come up with it in like 2 seconds.
There was a time you and me were watching ROH together, and he was on commentary, and he was just saying some of the funniest stuff.
Yeah, he was just like coming up with it.
It's like just the names that he comes up with too. Like he says Chris Judas, or the Ass Boys.
Chris Judas.
And I think he's a more like fully developed character rather than like Orange Cassidy. It was like one joke really.
Well, yeah.
So is he not injured anymore, or just not injured, or he's healed enough to where he can be on TV but not wrestle?
I think he's healed enough because he's 4 months ago or 3 months ago.
Okay.
And
maybe he's not ready to wrestle right away, but his injury happened at like the worst time, right? Didn't he just get released and then like got hurt?
Shatter his leg, basically.
God. But so that was exciting to see him. I wonder what they'll do with him or how they'll book him. Maybe they'll make him team with Orange Cassidy. I don't know.
I hope not. I hope he's not part of the Best Friends.
Best friends. So after that, after that, Cole calls for his friends to come out. Cutler comes out. Good old Brandon Cutler comes out. But Wheeler Yuta takes him out, and then Fish comes out, and then he takes out Yuta. Then Chuck Taylor comes out, takes out Fish. Bucks come out, they take out Chuck. It's just back and forth. Then Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, aka Roppongi Vice, take out the Bucks, which I think we all know they're having a tag team match against one another soon. They end up taking the fight to the backstage to what they call the go position. In WWE, it'd be Gorilla, but I think they call it the go position in AEW. At the end of the match, Adam Cole climbs to the top of the tunnel to jump off, I guess was his plan, onto Orange Cassidy, but Orange Cassidy has gotten up and climbed up to the top of the tunnel as well. He gives Adam Cole a big hug, and they jump off the tunnel together through the stage, and Orange Cassidy ends up winning. So I guess, is that Adam Cole's first loss?
It was his first loss, but it doesn't count on the record because it was
lights out match. See, smart. Smart. Okay.
I like the ending though, because that was just like, it was like a funny, but also I thought it was a pretty cool move too.
Well, when talking about the match itself, like when Danhausen came out, Tim hadn't watched it yet. I called him. I was like, "You watching?" He's like, "No, I'm watching Ozark." I was like, "Do you want me to know who just debuted?" He's like, "No."
I didn't want to know.
I wanted to talk about it with someone. I was like, "God damn!" But so what did you guys think of all that? match itself, or maybe just, I'm over the Adam Cole Orange Cassidy feud.
Yeah, that should be done.
The Elite with the best friends. I mean, that's just.
Why is Adam Cole not in the world title picture? What is happening?
What if Adam Cole feuds with Danhausen next? Are you okay with that?
Oh God!
Actually,
he's gonna say that's what caused him the match.
Yeah.
No, I really actually don't want to see that either. But I like Danhausen, so if that's what happens, I won't. It's not what I want for Adam Cole, but I guess I'll be entertained by it.
Very entertaining, very evil.
Yeah.
What that feud would be.
Yeah, I think this is the end of Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole. At least that part. Like, best friends and maybe the Young Bucks could still feud.
No swearing.
Yeah, hopefully they're done. Yeah.
No swearing. You're cursed.
So that wrapped up what I wanted to talk about with Beach Break. Now, obviously, there was more that went on in the show, but for the sake of time, because we are going to cover the entire Rumble this podcast, those are kind of the highlights for it. But I wanted to move on to SmackDown, which, again, like I said earlier, these WWE shows were go-home show for the Rumble the next night. But there was a couple stuff on SmackDown I wanted to talk about. Starting with the start of the show, we had Charlotte, Shayna Baszler, Aaliyah, Natalya, and Shotzi Blackheart in the ring. And then out comes Sasha Banks. So she has made her return from, I believe it was an injury, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, she is returning, and I mean, we already know the answer, but at the time watching this, I think you could assume as a viewer that Sasha was also going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah. Didn't think she'd be at the spot she was, though.
Yeah, no. But we will get into it. So that's all I really have for that opening segment. The last thing I want to talk about was the closing segment, which I sent you guys the promo. I don't know if both of you watched it or not, but it was at the end of the show. There was a segment between Seth and Roman in the ring. Roman says, like, it's an embarrassment to get pinned by Seth freaking Rollins. And then Rollins gets on the mic, saying, like, it's an embarrassment. And he talks about how he has the most famous cash-in, Money in the Bank cash-in of all time. Talks about when he came back and took out Roman. And then he said how he took the steel chair to your back and changed the game forever. You've beaten them all except me when it matters the most. So Roman gets on the mic and he says, chair to my back, breaking up the Shield. I've tried to forgive you, but I'll never forgive you for what you did to us. I hate you. So, you can assume now that Seth bringing up the whole Shield breakup and him betraying them really got under his skin. Started, a little bit of mind games with Roman. Because it's the only thing that made Roman, like, start to get angry out of, like, everything he had said throughout the promo. So yeah, after Roman says the thing about I hate you, Seth laughs. He calls Roman his bloodline, his daddy, and his uncle a joke. Then Roman pushes him and tries to Superman punch him, but Seth ducks. I really enjoyed this promo. It's like, I think McAfee said it on TV, but Seth found the chinks in Roman's armor during this promo. You never really see any weakness to Roman at all, at least this version of him, but until this promo, once this promo happened, you would say, he finally got under
the
his
chinks
skin,
in the armor, or the
affected
kink
him,
in the armor?
It's kinks.
You sure?
It's kinks, guys. I actually really did think it was the other, but
I don't know. It might be. I don't know. I just, when you said it made me laugh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like yesterday when we were talking. I said homage, and I was like, and then I corrected myself. I think it's homage, but now I don't know.
It was, and then someone out there is like,
Pretty sure
it's homage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Write in, guys. Write in, correct me.
Yeah.
Back on track. What? You could have corrected me earlier down the line, guys.
I just
No, you were in like this serious
let
tone.
it fester with me.
You really wanted to get to that drama of the promo, so I just want to let you finish.
What you guys think of the promo? Did you watch it?
I liked it. I'm glad you sent it to us because I made the entrance of Seth on the Royal Rumble pretty cool, and also like made sense now.
What about you, Tim?
No, I thought it was a good promo. I liked the Shield when they were around, so the reference was cool to me. I thought it was weird that would be like the one thing that would get to Roman is like, oh, how dare you, or I'll never forgive you for that. But yeah, I thought it was cool though, and obviously they're gonna bring that back again, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, this was pretty good. It got me hyped for the match.
By the way, guys, it is chink in the armor.
Is it?
All right.
Yep.
It just
Googled it.
Wow.
So ski guys.
Ski
It
guys.
still sounds funny.
Made me feel like I was getting canceled.
Dude, I was like, oh, we're only 21 episodes in, man.
Like, you guys are the messed up ones, not us.
Yeah, everyone listening is going to be like, that's right. No, he's correct. So, all right, back on track. So that wrapped up SmackDown. There's only one thing this week I want to talk about with Rampage. It was Jon Moxley versus Anthony Bowens from The Acclaimed. Did you guys watch this match?
Yeah, I actually really like this match.
Do you remember this part in the match that I'm going to talk about? They start fighting out into the stands.
Yeah.
We forget about a 10 count. They were fighting in the stands way longer than 10 seconds. There was no 10 count.
Yeah.
It was just it's a normal singles match. There's no, stipulations.
Who was the ref?
Well, AEW's done this before.
I think it was what Aubrey is.
Was,
I think
was it Aubrey or
it was
the
Aubrey.
Corpse?
Yeah. No, it wasn't the Corpse. The Corpse doesn't know where he is half the time. No, I think it was Aubrey, but I'm just watching, and like it dawned on me. I was like, normal match. What? No one's counting. Nothing. We just forgot about 10 count.
They've done that before. Then hear the commentators like, oh, they want to give the fans a good,
Thank God JR is not on Rampage commentating. Yeah, Taz, Excalibur, and Jericho.
And Ricky Starks.
That's right. But the winner of the match was Moxley. Match was all right. Wasn't bad at all. That part with the 10 count stuck out to me, so that was worth
And that
mentioning.
wasn't before the match, right? That was like during the match.
Oh, yeah. We were like halfway through the match at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So let's get into the Rumble. Rumble is one of my favorite, if not favorite. It's more fun
my
than
favorite.
Mania.
Yeah.
Mania's big, but like Rumble
was my favorite.
Usually was my
favorite
Yeah,
until
It was
this
the
year.
Met Rumble.
So opening match, they started off pretty strong, kind of. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, Universal Championship. Seth comes out to the Shield music. He walks through the stands. He's wearing Shield gear. Again, this brings us back to the whole mind games with the Shield stuff that Seth was talking about on SmackDown. So they brought that, full circle.
You know the Shield's 10 years old? Like, I'm like, that was 10 years ago? Are you serious?
How does that make you feel, Tim?
Old as
So correct me if I'm wrong. I know, Tim, you only got to see the ending of this match, but Jeremy, did you watch the whole match?
Yeah.
So basically the first half of the match, right? Seth is pretty much dominating Roman, I believe. He does a shield bomb through the table to Roman.
He did a curb stomp too.
Yeah. He did a lot of stuff. He was taking it to Roman couldn't do anything for a while. And then Roman came back. And I thought overall the match was good, but I think just like everyone else, it seems like from what I read online, did not like the ending. And the ending was Roman puts him in a guillotine. Seth grabs the ropes, but Roman won't let go. So he gets disqualified. And I read today online that in order to drown out the boos of the match, Roman started hitting Seth with a chair. Chair shots,
That was the reason?
chair shots. That way they're booing Roman at this point then and not the match. Boos stay there, but the reason changes.
That should have been already the plan, because that would have made sense still.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
We know WWE plans are. But no, the first chair shot to Seth after he had gotten back up, it was just like the whole chair shot that he gave them when he betrayed them. So, yeah, what you think of the match? I know, obviously, we all didn't like the ending. I really was hoping Seth was going to win. But I guess this doesn't hurt either competitor. I don't know why they want to do it, but yeah, what do you guys think?
This is a really good match, and this is probably at the height of Royal Rumble, at least last night.
Oh, the beginning?
Yeah.
It's the height of
everything
Royal
else
Rumble.
is downhill from here.
This was the best part of the show.
Yeah. This is it.
Besides hanging out with you guys, this was the best part of the show.
Yeah, this was it was a really good match, and then obviously the ending sucks. I don't even know if it helps either person. It's just like a annoying thing that WWE falls to whenever they don't know how to finish a match.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like it ends up hurting them more than anything now, just because of how often they do it.
Any thoughts, Tim?
No, it was a great match. I mean, I enjoyed it. I just didn't like the ending.
Yeah.
I think before they do this match again, they should probably take a break for a while. Keep these guys away from each other and just use it when you need to. Because I don't want to see Seth get jobbed out to Roman,
Well, luckily Seth's on a different show than
right.
Roman,
so, I mean, I think that...
So they will keep them separated.
Well, yeah. But no,
the whole thing was just Adam Pearce brought him over.
I think it's just going to be one of those things where they're great together when you need them, but don't do it all the time.
I agree. All right, you guys want to move on to the next match?
Yeah, it's not going to be as great, but yeah.
Next match was the Women's Royal Rumble. I actually didn't hate it.
It was better than the men's.
Better than men's,
yeah.
Which we will get into. So the Women's Royal Rumble, who were some of the people that came? I mean, everyone was pretty much announced. I don't think there was any real surprises.
Nikki Bella that was a good one,
right?
Yeah.
They had announced on Instagram like weeks before that they were going to be in the Rumble. I mean,
oh really?
I think the only surprise that they didn't announce, but if you were paying attention to things being said online, the winner was Ronda Rousey, and it had leaked online that she was in town. And then it also leaked online that this was before the Rumble started, that WWE has plans for Charlotte Flair versus Ronda. She came in at number 30?
Yep.
Number 30, yep. She came in looking like Avril Lavigne or something. Kind of. That's my friend Corey's joke, who listens to the show, so don't want to take credit for it.
It's a good one.
But yeah, so she is your winner. Charlotte Flair herself was in the match, and I think it just came down to them two, I believe.
Yeah, it came down to the Smackdown Women's Champion and then Ronda Rousey.
Well, Charlotte's whole reason for being in there was that she wanted to choose her opponent herself, but Ronda ended up taking her out. So, as a whole, I actually enjoyed the Women's Rumble a lot up until the ending. See, this is the thing.
The ending.
When they do things like this, and with the winner of the Men's Rumble, it's like you have these people that work hard all year long, and then you bring in part-timers to win it. Why? And I think it comes down to what I said to you earlier, Jeremy, is that WWE, and I think this has been said a bunch of times, not just by us, but has a problem when it comes to building new stars.
Yep.
Agree?
Well, think about it. Okay, if Ronda Rousey doesn't win, then who does? And then would you guys be like bummed about who it was?
Dude, I mean,
For me, if it's either like Sasha Banks or Rhea Ripley, I'm good with that.
yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah,
Okay,
actually,
Sasha Banks
those
returned.
are two solid choices.
Sasha Banks just returned, and she was the number one entrant. Then Melina came out, returning after a long time, and was tossed out right away. But I thought
As you
Sasha,
do, a legend.
yeah, as you do to a legend, you toss them like they're trash. I thought Sasha was going to be in a lot longer. I thought she was going to be the quote unquote anchor of the match, which that ended up being Bianca Belair, who was in it for like 40 some minutes. But Sasha was out, I think, before even like number 10 had come out.
Yeah, she was out 2 spots before Bianca Belair, so whenever she came out, like 2 spots before that.
But yeah, I mean, I think people would be fine with, her winning the Rumble. There was no Asuka comeback. There was no Bayley, no Alexa Bliss. Trying to think, no one from NXT. I really thought Raquel Gonzalez was going to make an appearance, but she did not. But even without that, I mean, I did actually like this women's Royal Rumble. We'll have to wait and see if I liked that Ronda won it down the road once we get to where we're going. But as of now, I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
It's like she came out and you're like, oh, I know who's winning.
Yeah. Immediately.
Same thing with the men's Rumble, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, so any other thoughts on this match, guys?
Well, this Rumble I felt had the right amount of like appearances by either like legends or surprise appearances by someone you didn't know really. More than the men's Rumble did at all. So that's why I think this one was good. I wouldn't say great, but it was just good.
What about you, Tim?
No, I mean, overall, I thought, like I said, I think it was better than the men's Rumble. I thought Ronda coming out, like you said, was like fairly predictable because I'm like, who else is going to win this thing, and why would she be coming out if she wasn't going to win? And yeah, I mean, I thought it was like pretty good overall. Like it was maybe one of the better parts of the show, along with the opening match. Other than that, the show was just kind of disappointing for a Royal Rumble. This is, it's one of their big like surprise type things of the year, and I just don't think it lived up.
Well, moving on to the next match.
Okay.
Well, you're talking about not living up, so that's why I bring up this match.
Catchphrase. All right.
All right. Our next match was Becky Lynch versus Dewdrop. Look, guys, I didn't pay attention too much to this match. I was never really even excited for it to begin with.
You're sexist, bro.
From what I remember, no, it's just I don't know what I was doing.
PC, bro?
I mean, we were
God.
drinking beers. We were, drinking some beers or something, but or at least I was. There was Becky Lynch versus Dewdrop for the Raw Women's Championship. From what I remember, it wasn't like a terrible match or anything. Nothing special. I mean, it was fine. Your winner was Becky Lynch. I'm sure everyone could have seen that coming, though.
Yeah. It was tough for a women's title match to be a cool down match.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all it is.
Who won this?
Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Who do you think won?
Yeah. Of course, they're going to keep Becky champion for Mania.
Just making sure.
So I can't say anything bad about this match. We were all talking, really. We were all just having a good time talking with one another, pretty much during this match.
Why weren't you paying attention to this one, dude?
Because I was just talking with you guys.
All right. I'm just wondering.
And I sent you a TikTok of a lady that forgot to order a salad.
Oh yeah,
that was.
Oh, and then the other thing was that the WrestleMania sign was melting during this match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So if you're listening, don't know. After the pyro went off when Ronda's pointing to the WrestleMania sign, the sign melted and was dripping down onto fans. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing, but they had to evacuate
it is funny.
Within that area. So are you having melting metal?
I'm just thinking of
plastic, like,
hot ass plastic, like you're just sitting in there watching wrestling. Like...
It's terrible. I'm sorry.
But you know what's terrible is that later on at the men's Royal Rumble. So I'll just say this real quick before we get there. But the fans who was sat there, apparently one of the guys tweeted out, and he's like, when the men's Royal Rumble was ending, they came back and were asked like, "Hey, when the match ends, can you move out of your seats again? Because they're gonna light the pyro off again." So like, we don't care about these people sitting here. Just move them again.
So we need the nice shot. All right.
Yeah.
The Mania sign to go off. Whether you get burned or not is not my problem.
Yeah, you can sit here and get hot metal dripped on you.
Oh my god. Sorry, I'm just watching Tim just laughing to himself. So our next match was Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. This match was pretty much exactly what I thought it would be. Anytime you get like two really just big guys in there, one, it's not going to go crazy long. They're going to do big, like, big guy shit, like spearing through the barricade kind of thing. Like, stuff that makes the audience go like, ooh and ah kind of shit. Like, but Bobby went for like a spear to Brock and hit the barricade, and that thing exploded. The pads like came off of it. It wasn't just your normal, like it just fell down. Like it literally just got ripped apart by it. He like landed on the metal like framing of the barricade, if I remember.
I showed one of my coworkers a picture of Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, who's like, and this guy's like really into working out. I said, between the two of them, how many steroids do you think is flowing between those? How much steroids do you think is flowing between those veins? And dude, he was like, so much. He's like, dude, it's gotta be so much.
Yeah, I mean, when you're their age, like, you gotta be taking something. And Vince loves his big men. So,
yeah. Yeah. How much do you think Vince loved this match?
Dude, he's like Goliath. Like Pat McAfee says, these are the guys you send to fight the aliens. All right. Just giant.
I mean, it's a good point. If we send Brock Lesnar to fight an alien and he gets beat, then we're all fucked.
Yeah. But in the end, Roman interfered in the match. Did he give him a spear or a Superman punch?
This is spear.
Okay.
Right.
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Bobby won because of this. I guess.
Well, and then Roman hit him with the title after Heyman gave it to him.
Okay.
That's what it was.
So this is another one of those things, though, doesn't make Bobby look bad, doesn't make Brock look bad because it wasn't a clean finish. Honestly, I didn't see Bobby winning this. And I know last week in the beginning of the show we said we were going to do predictions for the Rumble, and we actually did do them, but there was some technical difficulties. Guys,
yes, so. And speaking of,
sorry that never happened.
Yes, sorry for the technical difficulties. Sorry we did not have video last week. We had a couple internet issues, which seem to be going good this week. So hopefully it all works out.
Yes, Tim had some wild predictions, if I remember correctly. I
basically picked everything wrong on purpose for the shock factor. It was a pretty good segment. I wish we had left it in. It was funny, but unfortunately, with the internet issues,
my fault, guys.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's my internet. So yeah, winner was Bobby Lashley, new WWE champion once again. Yeah. Any thoughts on the match, guys?
This one actually went longer than I thought. It was like 10 minutes long, and
so long.
It was like it was like a suplex F5,
suplex city,
suplex. Yeah, and that's about it.
Did he end up getting the hurt lock on him? I don't remember.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
but he got out of it, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, Brock has like 1,000 neck muscles, so
This is true.
yeah, he's good.
So many
I actually thought it was better than I just seen matches like this before. You never know, but I thought it was okay. For two big jacked up dudes.
It would have been much different if it was back in their prime when they were younger.
Yeah,
it would have been interesting.
Because Brock left
might have
and then
done the moonsault.
Yeah. Well, Brock wrestled me and Tim talked about Brock used to wrestle very differently than he does now.
He wrestled like Kurt Angle.
That's true.
It would have been a lot faster paced kind of match. But this was the first time that they ever did meet in any kind of ring. And it wasn't terrible. So
yeah, glad it happened.
Yeah. Now Lashley can check that off of his bucket list.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, though, we had Edge and Beth Phoenix versus The Miz and Maurice. To be honest, this was a lot better. This was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Maurice actually did stuff. The past two mixed tag team matches she's been in, I don't think she did really a single move, if I remember correctly. But she did like a Hurricanrana to Edge off the top rope, which was very unlike her.
She actually took a couple of bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Edge's gear was really cool. I liked the blue and black that he was wearing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Beth looked like that she should be with Brock Lesnar with her Viking haircuts. And the paint on her face, Tim, who was that? What's her name that it was a pain?
We thought that it might have been not Moolah Vachon. Oh god, this is terrible. Who was it? Something Vachon? Luna.
I didn't say the name
Luna Vachon.
Luna. It still could have been. I mean, kind of looked like it, just not as drawn out, but it was in the same area that she used to have it. But yeah, so winners was Edge and Beth Phoenix. I guess it was supposed to be kind of like a cool down match before the men's Royal Rumble after Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Fans seemed to be into it though. I think it ended with, if I'm not mistaken, did they both give the Glamazon finisher?
Yeah. They did both the spear before that, and then did that.
So they both did Edge's finisher, and then they finished with giving both of them best finisher. So that was cool. It's the first time they've ever tagged together, Beth and Edge. So for them, it probably meant a lot more than fans watching it. So good for them. I'm just trying to figure out how to segue into this match. So the main event of the show was the men's Royal Rumble. Started off real strong. Your first two entrances were AJ Styles at number 1 and Shinsuke Nakamura at number 2. If you are a fan of the Indies or New Japan or anything and know their history, these are two guys that had really good feuds outside of WWE. I know they were at WrestleMania the one year. But if you're, in on the wrestling stuff, it might have been kind of cool.
And this lasted less than, 2 minutes? Because the next entrant didn't even make it in before... Or no, it lasted longer than that, right?
I just know Shinsuke wasn't very long, and that's your Intercontinental champion. And he's out of there.
Yeah, he was out pretty quick.
So who do we have in this match? We had... Okay, one thing I need to get off my chest, which we talked about last night. Madcap Moss came into the ring. Tim goes, who is this guy? Tim has not been paying attention to Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin segments, but who can blame him? Madcap Moss eliminated AJ Styles.
Horrible.
Even Omos was in there. I thought Omos was going to be the one. That would make more sense storytelling-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Madcap Moss. God. So who else was in? Johnny Knoxville came in. He got tossed out and thrown into his Jackass crew.
Kofi lost his spot.
Kofi every year likes to do some sort of stunt, right? And he jumped or got thrown out and jumped all the way to the barricade. And the plan was, I believe, to hang on. Instead, his feet touched the ground, and then he pulled his feet up. And it was very obvious that he couldn't hide it, and the ref had to be like, look, you got to go. There's no way to hide that shit. It was both toes, touch. I think one foot was completely flat on the ground.
They show the replay and the commentary. It's like, oh, he's out. Yeah.
Let's see who else. There was again no guys from NXT. No crazy surprises, unless it's Shane McMahon. Cool. All right.
Yeah, I was going to say we can basically skip to Riddle, who was like number 25.
Riddle was 25.
There's no one before that.
No. A lot of mid-carders. I mean, that's every Rumble, but there was no real surprises. I heard Angle was in town, but Angle did not come out during this match, which, not like he was going to win, but it would have been cool to see.
Yeah.
So number 30 entrant, who was our winner, was Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's entrance number 30. I think he's only in there for a couple minutes before he takes everyone out. Drew McIntyre came back very early after a neck injury, like a month. And I think it came down to him and Brock.
Yeah, because it was like the same as 2 years ago.
Yeah, and Brock this time around eliminated him. The fans when Brock won, the fans sounded divided, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You sent us a video of a guy in the stands when Brock came out. He was pissed. But there were people in the background cheering, and there were plenty of people that were booing.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing the way this was getting booked was, well, we need to find a way to get to Roman and Brock at Mania. Because I don't think we're going to get another Brock versus Lashley at Mania. You can continue the better story with Roman.
I think that perfectly sums up WWE. Is like they did this whole Rumble, or basically this whole show, for one storyline to set it back up.
Yeah,
so it was basically because the Roman match in the start, and then the Brock match, and then the men's Royal Rumble was all for the storyline. So it's like, of course, you're not going to make any new stars when half of your show is just for one storyline.
Tim, what do you think of this match?
I don't know. I thought it was pretty predictable. Once Brock came out, I was like, well, all right. We know where this is going.
Dude, the Rumble during the pandemic was better than this.
That's what we were saying last night.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about Brock winning?
I mean, there's worse choices, so I guess that's fine. I just was kind of bummed there was no surprises. There was no,
Yeah.
I thought Bad
Cody.
Bunny, honestly, was like a wasted spot.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Bad Bunny.
And he was in the top 4 left, right?
Yeah, he got out. He took out Dolph Ziggler. He got a couple people. Apparently, it was just a one-off thing, so thank God. But
yeah. And Shane squaring up with Riddle, who's an actual trained MMA fighter.
Yeah, and took the punches to Riddle had to take his punches. Originally, if the plan wasn't going to be Brock, I would have thought that Kevin Owens would win.
Yeah, that would have been a good choice.
But this was at the time that I was thinking that Rollins was going to beat Roman.
Yeah.
That's where my thought process was. But
yeah.
If you didn't like this Rumble, guys, I know he's getting a lot of heat right now, but it was written, head writer and producer for this match was Shane McMahon, who put himself over in the match and apparently has some heat backstage with some of the superstars because of this.
Really?
He eliminated Kevin Owens. People had to sell for him and God, I don't know, man.
Can you imagine him writing that? He's like, you know what this
star.
match needs? Yeah,
me.
Yeah. He's like, me.
What this match needs? Me.
God,
it's just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks is that when a pay-per-view like this, if it was just a normal pay-per-view, that'd be fine. But it's man, I have to wait all the way till next year for another Rumble.
Right.
And who knows if it's going to be good or not.
Yeah. It's tough. And it's like so tough because do they have another one before Mania? Like, do they have a small or Elimination Chamber? Right?
I don't know. Is that in Saudi Arabia?
Oh, it might be. I was like, they usually have one every month. So, like, there's going to be one next month in February, which is going to be nothing.
What is it? God, no, it's not Battleground because that always comes after.
I always thought it was Elimination Chamber, but
it has been in the past. But I think they're moving it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They could create a new one. You know.
Yeah.
Back in my day, it was No Way Out. Was before Mania.
Yeah.
And then Backlash was after. But kids these days don't know about that. Where the pay-per-views didn't change. They were the same every month. And you just went down the line.
There was no day one.
There's no day one. You know, they started messing that stuff up with like adding New Year's resolution.
Oh,
whatever.
God.
Night of Champions.
Sounded like Night of Champions.
Yeah.
I don't know. NXT has Vengeance Day coming up.
I was like, Vengeance Day. It's like,
Vengeance Day.
or like Judgment Day and Vengeance. Let's just get a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
So as a whole, guys, this pay-per-view started cool and just kind of went down from there.
As someone might say, this pay-per-view was meh. Or say mid.
Meh. It was mid.
You smoke meds, bro.
So, yeah, do you guys have any other thoughts on this pay-per-view or anything? We're just going to have to see where the storyline goes. Brock apparently is supposed to make his decision this coming Monday on Raw, which is, if you're listening today, for us it's tomorrow.
I wonder where he's going to go. Like, come on.
Yeah, if they really want to swerve us, he'd be like, I'm coming for you, Bobby, again.
Yeah.
Bobby boy.
And then he'll beat Bobby, collect his belt, and then they'll unify the belts. They'll collect his belt before Mania, then collect his belt.
Yeah.
Unify with Roman.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about after this pay-per-view. Like, it's kind of just like, hope they make it worth it, but I don't have much hope for them.
I don't know. But that wraps up the Royal Rumble, guys.
Probably about wraps up the show, huh?
Nothing like to end the show on no hope.
Yeah, womp, womp, womp. No, but that was really fun watching the show, regardless of how it turned out. Yeah, but guys,
we all shared each other's misery in bad moments.
Guys, episode 21, man. Here we are. It's pretty cool. We will
yes, sir.
We will be back again next week, like always. Just a reminder, just in case anybody got confused, because we did have to change a couple of things. We used to record our show on Thursday nights, and it would come and it would come out Friday afternoon, and we did have to switch. So we now record on Sunday evening, and the show should be released on Monday around dinner time. Just think of it like that. And so if you've had trouble finding us or trying to figure out what happened or what, that's the new schedule. Episodes drop on Friday evening. And don't forget, please follow the PW Fan on Twitter and Instagram at the PW Fan. And follow Andy's Funko Pop Collection page on Instagram at the 410 Fan Bros. I appreciate you guys for listening. And join us next week on the PW Fan Podcast, where we talk all things professional wrestling. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.